Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Little addendum to a video I just shot about a pre-submission of a pretty good size and versatile group of coins, which include mostly US, but plenty of world coins, some older 16th century through 19th century Western European, Italian states, 1599, Piastra, probably 15, Mexico 8 reales, spread out from the 1700s through the mid 1800s, and plenty of US coins. But in addition to that, we have a group of comic books. We bought some comic books a couple months back, and we've gone through and picked out the ones that we believe are the highest valued ones and created two small submissions, a group of the 6 modern, which are post 1975, and you can see number 1 through 6, Star Trek The Next Generation, number 1, that's the issue number and the date. Next to that, October of '89, and the declared value over to the right. Most of these are under $100. Some of them are barely worth grading, if worth grading at all, but this is a trial. We have the more vintage coins, comics, right below these. So we have Star Trek, Batgirl, Ray, I don't even know. Batman, World's Finest Comics, which is Batman and Superman, and The Amazing Spider-Man, all of these from the 80s and 90s, except for the World's Finest, which is May of '75, which is right on the cusp of what is allowed in the modern group. And then we have the vintage group, which are 4 Superboys and 4 Superman's girlfriend, Lois Lane. And the 4 Superboys are from 1969 and 1970. And the Lois Lanes are from as long ago as 1967 through 1973. These declared values are conservative. These are based on most of these coming back 9 or 9.2, and most of these seem to be in pretty good condition. They were very well taken care of, shrink wrapped, and have the hard white board behind them all. And although because they're wrapped, I can't see the inside pages and so forth. Based on the pigmentation, the binding, and what I can see of the pages, most of these appear to be mint or pretty close to mint. I've never sent comics in for grading, so they could come back 6 or 7 and leave me befuddled, or it's part of the learning process. So if any of these do come back a 9.6 or higher, they're probably worth double. And God forbid one come back a 9.8, then it's worth considerably more. So we'll see what happens. We're hoping to break even. Ones that didn't go in, these ones here are mostly lower value, but they all were well taken care of by the gentleman that owned them. You can see they're wrapped, and that's what I mean by the white bound board on the back. And this is what the CGC price guide values are. So, you cut it in half because they're not going to sell for price guide, just like coins. So, it's probably a $20 or $30 comic. But you can see, I'm looking at the binding, the staples, the color. Is there any fray? Is there any bends? Or just like currency, really, looking at the corners, looking for creases. I found it interesting that they offer pressing. I didn't know that they offered pressing. It sounds like a contradiction. We're going to press. It's what's frowned upon in currency. If they detect that you have pressed your currency, that's a big strike, but I guess they can do it. I don't want to sound ignorant or jaded, because I don't really know the hobby that well. We have some duplicates, as you can see, but we have a couple hundred comics. We went through them. Most of these are, like I said, in that $10, $20 range, give or take. 20 to 34, 9.4, 9.6, 20 to 34, 9.6, 9.8. So the new Titans, pretty low value stuff, but pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. I think this one was a high. I think I missed this one. No, I couldn't find a value on that Justice League of America. Brings me back to the days when I was a kid. But anyway, we will be reporting on those when those come back from Sarasota, Florida at some point in the 2 to 3 month future. So we're going to link this video to the pre-coin submission video coming up right now. Welcome back to the channel, folks. Saturday evening, a little after 6 p.m. as we are approaching Halloween. We are getting ready to do a multiple coin submission to PCGS, which includes some world coins, modern and classic. Some of these going back to the Middle Ages or late Middle Ages. 1599, 1692, Italian states, Tuscany, one Piastra, and another 1692 Livorno, Cosmos III, Escudo. Several 8 reales, including many that have been chop marked. We are going to send in that package of 10 1991 small date 10 1 ounce silver pandas that we've had for quite a while. We sent the first packet of 10 in and we went 10 for 10, getting all MS69. And on that particular coin, MS69s are still worth between 100 and 150. So not a bad result. The MS70s are worth over $1,000. Very hard to get. Population at last check was 9. Don't know if it's gone up. Haven't looked in a while. We have Modern World, some more pandas, and we have some Mexico onzas or libertads. We were at an auction last Monday. We took a lot of things home. We had an auction just before that. In that auction, we got those 2 very rare national currency large size Vermont banknotes. The $5 White River Junction and the $1 Bellows Falls. Those will be going in for a banknote submission. We have these 5 bank-wrapped rolls of onzas in the original Mexico, Banco de Mexico sealed bank rolls. 5 of those, all 1985. There was one that was opened, and the one that was opened had a tremendous end-of-the-roll toned coin, which we'll show you when we get there. We're going to be quick. I always say that. We had this Cleveland at two Clevelands that were original government packaging. That was how the Cleveland Commemoratives were issued back in 1936. And the coins had toning that was exemplary of being in those holders since 1936. There was fierce competition for this fairly common commemorative. Simply because the quality of the coins was that good. A guy who is a specialist in this material was at a recent Stacks auction where there was similar quality commemoratives, better pieces, rarer pieces, of Vermont, a Maine, and some other ones that he submitted, and the majority of them came back 66, a couple 65, and a couple came back 67, and he thought that these 2 were solidly in the 66 range with a shot of 67 on one of them. So I guess we'll see what happens. I don't send a lot of these in. Not going to get a good view through the plastic. There's some Morgans in there. There's some Seated Liberties. There's some Indian Cents. So we have 5 submission forms. If we can get it to focus, that would be nice. Okay. So this was the regular Economy US submission. A couple Tidy House toned pieces, a VAM 12 Alligator Eye Morgan, some more common date Morgans, that's 71S seated half on line 8. That's about an XF 40 or 45. We threw in a couple Indian head cents in 1866. I'd call it XF 45. 1870 is a VG10 possible fine 12. And then some Lincoln S over S over S and S over S. Then we see the two Clevelands. I appraised them at 200 each. And then a 1908S that somebody had XF on the holder that I thought was maybe a VF20. All right, and then we have the banknotes. Friedberg 380. These are rare, as you can see. Those values are kind of low. And Friedberg 469. Those Vermont banks. When you look at the currency guides, the more common states, California, New York, etc., rarity scale 1, Vermont is a rarity scale 6, so that's pretty high up. It's about 70% above the rarity high ones in terms of value. Here's our moderns. A couple of Canadian specimen dollars that are only worth about $15 or $20, but they have beautiful toning, and we'll see what happens. The 85 Libertad on line 3 is the toned beauty that I did a short video on a few days ago. We're tossing in a 1990 small date Panda and another 1991 ounce Libertad. And then we have all of these classics, all those chop marked lines 1 through 8, and then some nice quality ones on lines 9 through 12. We move over here. There's the rare Italian states in the Livorno. Those values are on the low side again. Saw one sell on Heritage for $11.25 in an XF 40 grade on that Italian States 15.99 Piastra. Not saying that that's what it will sell for, but that's from an auction archive. So that's that. This was an online auction, not eBay, but another one, an 1877 seated dollar that is probably VF details. There's a little bit of damage up here, but this will be going on eBay soon. Probably an unreserved auction just to see what happens. We did get this group of 12 1/25 ounce Pandas. If you're not familiar, these are the 2007 commemorative. They have the date that corresponds with the Panda design of 1983. So the 1983 Pandas have that Panda shape. Of course, they all have the same reverse, but these are 1/25 of an ounce of gold. These are all Proof 69 Ultra Cameo, so says NGC. Here's your 1982 design. I thought they were in order. They're not. 1990. And that's good because we do have a 1990, but it's not in front of me, but we do have the 91 design. So 91, and there's the 91 design, which matches the upside down Panda here. Let's turn him upside down. There he is, feasting away on the some sort of vegetation. So these run through 2007. We don't have them all, we have 12. Very cool. These will eventually be going up for auction as well. We also have a $100 gold Liberian elephant, which is not with me. That was also from that auction. These banknotes are pretty cool. I'm not a big banknote currency collector, but he had a lot of it in the last auction, and they're rare, so they didn't go as strong as what I saw they had sold on Heritage auctions. You see the signatures are almost in Sharpie. Obviously they weren't in Sharpie in 1882, but that ink sometimes would blend or run through the other side. It didn't in this case, but it's not that uncommon to see it bleed through the note. Some people might think that's a sign of a counterfeit. It's actually a sign of a genuine note. So because the paper stock, especially on these smaller banks, wasn't really as good as what the first national banks would have been using. So Bellows Falls, this is the, these are the American banknote. These are the educational series notes. Super cool. Amazing detail on these, huh? Just gotta love it. Obviously not in the greatest condition, probably somewhere in that VG range. Let's have a look at those Clevelands if we can get them through. I really don't want to take them out of the flip, so we'll have to settle, but just gorgeous speckled, rustic, antique toning. Very lustrous, creamy, satiny luster. Powdery, if you will. Let's even look at it right side up. Try not to give you a headache. Not my specialty. Went probably 1 or 2 bids higher than I wanted, but I liked the fact that it was in the original packaging, even though they're being sent in for grading. And then, so 1 obverse toned, 1 reverse toned, which is cool. We have a 1949 mint set that we don't have with us right now. PD and S, 1 coin of each. Or 2 coins of each? 1 coin of each, I forget. Show it on the next video though. It's in the safe. Haven't really looked at it too closely. All right, so I don't want to mix up the submission, so I'll open up a couple of these. So this is the Modern World. And you say, what the heck are you sending this Canadian dollar in for? Well, it's got really nice toning. And I just want to see, this is a specimen dollar. And then another one here, 71, which the label is covering up the majority of that toning, but we got some good rainbow toning going on here. We made a video on this, so you may have already seen it, but we're sending it in. It's got pretty smooth surfaces, not a lot of contact marks, just wonderful color. And that was at the end of the roll. And then nice blazing luster, a couple of marks. You know, these are hard to get above a 66. Anything above a 66 on those, they start to really jump up in price. You see a 67 or a 68, they tend to be worth quite a bit. Let's see, keep these in order so I don't mess this up. Second. Coin 4 was another Libertad, a 1990, I believe. Yep, 1990. I have to settle for it the way it looks. Sorry, guys. And then this 1990 Panda, a small date Panda. Should be a 69. Don't really see any blemishes. They don't like to give out 70s, so we say 69. If they shock us with a 70 one of these days, then they do. I've gotten 70s on Australian lunar and US coins, but not on a Panda and not on anything else that's modern outside of the US. So we have some very cool 8 reales coins and 1 peso coins. A little bent, you know, I don't know how they grade these when it comes to being bent or not due to how they were struck. Probably well noted as details, probably somewhere in the fine details on this particular one. That was line 9, 10, okay. 1741. Mo, Mexico. I think this one's pretty close to XF. I believe this is the Maximilian Peso. Probably $100 coin or thereabouts. Nothing too crazy. VF probably. Maximilian Dynasty. And then we have this guy. Another Un Peso. Geo Mexico. GS Mexico. 1871. Can't see it all. See most of it. You get an idea of the feel. All right, let me wrap those back up. Don't mess these up. I'm going to show you the Tuscany Italian States coins because that's something you don't see every day. I'll even take it out of the holder. I don't want to handle it too much. So this is the 1599 Saint John the Baptist, I believe, is, there's your date, 1599. The exact verbiage of the coin, I've written it down and don't have it memorized, so probably a fine, if you want to call it, fine details. I'm not sure about the rim warpedness, how that goes, but no heavy scratches or any sort of signs of heavy cleaning or anything, so that's the good news. And the other was this pushing XF details, I guess, because of, again, rim damage, but sharp details on this Cosmo III. The top should be round, so there's going to be some deduction. We're calling it details. Not that unusual to get details grades on coins of this nature. So that's those. We're not going to bother with the Morgans and all that. We have a group of ancients that we're not sure if we're going to send in or not. We have to look a little closer at those. Let's see, what do we got? Here's our 1866 Indian cent. That I think is probably an XF 40 or 45. Probably going to take it out in order to look at it through there. It's too small and too dark. Nice full Liberty bands, nice color. Kind of dark in here, sorry. I think it's an XF 40. That's probably $140, $120 to $140 coin. The 1870 is a semi-key date. You got most of Liberty. I call it a VG10. See what happens. Here's those Lincoln cents with the S over S over S. 65 or 66 red, probably 65 with that little couple nicks. There's another one with a toning spot and another one behind that. So those three. Again, nothing crazy in terms of value. 1908S, fine 15, maybe VF 20. The holder said XF. It was not close, but it's not that unusual. So let's see. I think that is it for this video. Just want to show you that these are heading in, and these will, at some point, we'll do a grade reveal on these. A lot of stuff that I don't handle every day, and excited to see how that works out. So thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you would be interested in doing so. samscoinsandheavymetal.com, samscoinsandheavymetal@gmail.com. If you're interested, a lot of this stuff will be for sale at some point online, on my website, on eBay, under the same name. Thank you, guys. See you soon.